Good afternoon and welcome. I want to speak to you today about the 5 guiding principles of business adventure. My name is Mubita Nawa. Wherever you're joining us from, I say good afternoon and welcome. Business, entrepreneurship, becoming a person who is independent, a person who generates and creates wealth through different activities requires that we follow fundamental principles and precepts of business. How do you know which business to start? Because on any given day, your brain is going through 1,000, if not 1,000,000 activities as well as ideas. So here are the 5 guiding principles of effective entrepreneurship or business. Number 1, the path of least resistance. I know that many people complicate and create different theses and reasoning around business and enterprise in terms of what should I do. If I take water and I pour it in this lid, where the water falls is the business I must start. Now, I just missed the container of the water and the water has spilled onto my trousers. The path of least resistance is the path that water will take through gravitational pull, gravitational force, centripetal force. That's the business I must take. Mubita, I have capital. I want to start a business, but I don't know which business to start. Start the business that is directly in relation and in proportion with your capital. If this lead is over here and the alignment is missed between the source of resources and the business that I want to do, then that is not the right business. Divine Dazzle says, how are you, Mr. Now? I want to be like you one day. Thank you. I'm well. And you don't really have to be with me. I appreciate the compliment. But I want you to be you, Divine. I want you to find the courage, the revelation, the wherewithal to step on the threshold of your own greatness. Hector says, how are you, Mr. Now? I'm great. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm great, and thank you. So the first guiding principle of business is take the business that is directly in relation with your capital. The business that is the easiest business for you to start. If you have 1,000 kwacha, or in this case, let me see what's in my wallet. Not much. I have 500 kwacha in my wallet right now. And if I had to start a business using this money, 500 kwacha, the business that I should start is the business that will fit in this lead using 500 kwacha. Yesterday, we talked about how to start a business without money. So the first principle is always start businesses that are easy to start. Businesses that are directly in proportion and in relation to your capital. Don't start a business that is greater than your 500 kwacha. You may not manage. You may have a mental capacity of 5,000 kwacha, which is 10 times this, but your financial capacity is currently at 5,000. So take the path of least resistance. That's number 1. The second guiding principle of business is that start a business that you know something about. I didn't say that you know everything about. Start a business that you know something about. You've done your research, you've asked questions, you've moved around, you have inquired from people, you have knowledge about how you're going to spend that 500 kwacha. So, guiding principle number 1, the path of least resistance. Guiding principle number 2, knowledge-based businesses. I know something about this business, therefore I will start this business. Where does that knowledge come from? It comes from experience. It comes from research. It comes from exposure. So you're only going to stick to businesses that you have some form of experience in, some research data-based activity, or you've been exposed to it. Therefore, you know something about that business. Guiding principle number 3, start a business that you can grow, but one that you can start with 20% of your capital. I've got 5 100 kwachas. For those in other countries, this looks a lot, but it's not a whole lot. Let's see, $1 is currently at 17 kwacha. So this amount, well, 19, let's just say 20 kwacha. This amount will get me $5, 10, 15, 20. This is $30 that I have in my hand. So if I'm going to start a business, I must not use my entire 500 kwacha. I must use 20% of my capital. Where should I take this remaining money? I should put it aside for expenses. So for example, I run a driving school. Every 3 days, we put full tanks in our cars. Every 3 days, we put full tanks in our cars. So this now will become part of my fuel, my input, my stock to begin with. This is part of my establishing of that business. This is part of my fuel for my business. 100 of it might even go into savings. When you start a business with all your capital, you will find yourself stranded. Okay, guiding principle number 1, path of least resistance. Guiding principle number 2, businesses that you can grow and multiply, businesses that you can duplicate. That is number 3. Guiding principle number 2 is businesses that you know something about. Guiding principle number 3, businesses that you can grow and multiply and duplicate and replicate. If you have been running a business that is not growing, my friend, my sister, my brother, you are digging your own grave. If you are currently running a business and your salary from your job is the one financing your business and has been financing your business for 5-10 years, then that business is not a good business, or you're not running it the right way. Sometimes we have good businesses, but we are not running them the right way. So what business can you grow? What business can you duplicate? What business can you replicate? Guiding principle number 4. Only run businesses that you can delegate. In the beginning, I ran a school. At the beginning of this school in 2009, I did everything. I drove the bus. I cooked. I distributed flyers. I wrote receipts. I did a lot of things at this school. 2009, 2010, 2011. I did a lot. I sounded like a lousy man. I am lousy. But I did a lot at this school. I said 2000, 2011, 2009. 2009. I did a lot. That was 2009. As I speak to you now, I'm rarely at that business. I'm rarely ever there. Why? I've delegated. I may supervise, but I've delegated. If you are running a business that you have to be there all the time, then that business will be a side hustle, but it may not give you freedom and independence. So you want to run a business that you can delegate at some point. Whatever you are doing now, you need to surrender it to other people through training, through trust, through Buchanan's laws of motivation, through Ackman's laws of team building, building of trust, confidence, all those things. You have to do that. Guiding principle number 5, you're going to enjoy this. Only run businesses that you actually enjoy, and businesses that you yourself could be a customer of. Why should you deal in drugs when you don't take drugs? It's just my thought. It's just my thought. I think we should run, because if you're a drug dealer, at some point you have to test the drugs. If you run a restaurant and you are a chef, at some point you have to test the food. If you run a lodge, at some point you have to sleep in your lodge. If you run a cruise, you have to take a cruise. So run businesses that you absolutely, utterly enjoy, and you too can be a customer. All right, gotta go. Those are the 5 guiding principles of business. Follow the path of least resistance. Ensure that the business can grow, and you start it with 20% of your capital. Businesses that you can duplicate, businesses that you enjoy, businesses that you can delegate, and most of all, run businesses that will make you so happy. Have a beautiful day, my dear colleagues. This should help you. Don't start businesses anyhow through copy and paste. You will regret, because you don't know the motivation of the other person. You don't know what has made them start their business. You don't know the pain that led them to that business. You don't know the convictions that caused them to have that business. So start something that you alone can love and enjoy and embrace. Research-based business is the way to go. This is your friend and brother Movita Now. Have a blessed day. Thank you for joining us, everybody. It's God bless you, and bye-bye. Don't forget to share this. You just never know who will be blessed by it. I'm out.